So we are talking about question 2D particularly, where you're being asked to write uh, commentary, how writers use language to convey, create effect, or write, or invoke feelings in reader's mind. So the second example is from the second three example. The next three examples are from paragraph 10. Now, how he has established um, thesis statement. He's saying the overall effect of the language creates an image of uncomfortable journey Rohan went through in the cave. Okay. The imagery suggests that Rohan was left with no choice but to comply and make himself smaller to fit in the cave, which would have been uncomfortable. Secondly, the writer's use of syntax M, a gentle slope with caution, even though the slope he was navigating through was described as gentle. It's a juxtaposition. Though the journey is uncomfortable, but he is still describing it as as gentle. All right. What is juxtaposition? We have talked about it. It's two opposite ideas together. Okay, so at the one moment he's saying the journey had been uncomfortable, but at the same time he's saying the slope was gentle. Okay, with the word caution. So it's like gentle caution. How could someone give a gentle caution? Caution is a warning. All right. So Rohan is still wary of the new discovery and the environment around him. Lastly, the personification in the phrase, the wall swallowed the light. The wall swallowed the lights. This implies the surrounding were getting so dark that light from the torch was not as effective as before. So, giving the wall a human attribute, it adds to the level of uncomfortableness and weariness. Now he has lost his sight. Okay. This question is of 15 marks altogether. All right. So, this student got 15 out of 15 because he has not only picked up examples from the text, which in which writer is using language to convey meaning and to create effect, but he's also identifying and explaining the impact of technique that is being used. So, starting off from the first paragraph, you can see three quotations he has picked from the text and the three explanations he has given in the same context. Okay. All right. So this is exactly you need to answer 2D, especially in students of second language. Student of first language. 500. Okay. I do have a message in the chat window from Isa. Yes. What are you saying, Isa? Isa, is your mic working? What? So can you please read this response of the student so that you can also make connection that how he has not only identified technique, he's commenting on it, how this language has been used to create an effect on reader's mind. Over to you. Please read the response from here. The overall effect of the language.
The overall effect of the language creates an the overall effect of the language creates an image of the violent battle Rohan had to experience with the foliage. Firstly, the author uses imagery in the phrase the animates how much force the art actually impacted on him, react that way. Second, use of personification as eagle sprang towards him. The use of the as a threat and as if it was stalking an attempt to catch him. Only by adding this
Yes, Isa, I lost you again. All right, I'm sharing my screen. Yes, please continue now. Isa, please resume.
Secondly, the use of personification as eager green ivy tendrils sprang towards him. The use of the characteristics of eager as the ivy poses it as a threat and as if it were a predator stalking Rohan in an attempt to catch him. Additionally, by adding this human attribute to the inanimate object, it uh, it is also gaining a sense of the violent intention behind the action. Lastly, using stringy choking fingers as a metaphor for the ivy tendrils emphasizes the danger Rohan is describing himself to be in. Furthermore, it is suggesting that Rohan is putting up a tremendous battle with the foliage.
Okay, what have you understood how to approach this question 2D? So, what are the things that you should do? Yes, Isa?
First, identify an okay, example
Yes.
from the text.
Okay, good. And always pick a very short example. I always recommend pick short phrases. Okay. An example which has a dominating technique which you can easily pick up. Either simile, either personification, maybe alliteration. Okay. So always there, you can easily find these kind of techniques that are being used often by widely by writers in the text. Okay. So that it is easier for you to, you know, use your understanding of that technique to write a comment. Okay. So I would never recommend students to pick difficult techniques. So it's easier to look at only on similes, metaphors, personification, alliteration, imagery. So with the help of these five techniques, even you can get good score in this question. Okay. So identify a technique first thing.
Okay.
Second, comment on it. And the third thing is link it with the context. So these are three things that you should do. Okay. Now let's read the examples from paragraph 10. Please read, dear Isa. Yeah.
The overall effect of the language creates an image at the uncomfortable journey Rohan went through in the cave. Firstly, as Rohan advanced deeper into the cave, he found himself contracting his contracting his shoulders
Yeah. Yeah.
much and
Contracting his
maneuvering several,
shoulders,
several contracting his shoulders and
maneuvering.
maneuvering several other body parts to accommodate to the cave's confined spaces. The imagery suggests that Rohan was left with no choice but to comply and make himself smaller to fit, which would have been uncomfortable. Secondly, the writer's use of syntax in a gentle slope with caution, even though the slope he was navigating through was described as gentle, it just opposes with the word caution because Rohan is still wary of the new discovery and the environment around him. Lastly, the personification in the phrase "the world swallowed the light." This modifies this implies that Rohan's surroundings were getting so dark that the light from the torch was not as effective as before, giving the writer a sense of desperation and desperation and desperation and desperation and
So that's how this question should be approached. Um, I have shared in a paper in the group chat. All right. So Isa, I would recommend you to attempt that question. Okay, and then send that to me for checking, and I'll see how have you. Isa, I've shared a paper already, so you need to attempt that question 2D from that paper and submit your response to me so that I can evaluate how are you using um, you know, your skills to answer these questions. Okay?
Okay,
Question
sir.
2D is very much important. Most of the students lose their marks in question 2D. All right. So I have shared two papers already in the group. So you need to particularly attempt question 2D from there. Okay, beta.
Okay, sir.
All right. Take care of yourself. I'll catch up with you tomorrow in the class. Allah Hafiz.
Okay. Allah Hafiz, sir.